Hello, my name is Ragnar Engnes. I work as a project manager at Virinko, and I'm going to demonstrate to you today how to send and report to SkyWATS in the simplest way. So we start with the preparations that would be for you to get yourself an SkyWATS account. So you go here, you ask for a free trial. You will have to fill out this information and wait for an email from us, and then you should be ready to go. It will the email will contain your username and password and also a client token, which we are going to use later. Okay, let's start with Visual Studio. I do a file new console application from the .NET framework, and we're going to call it health. Check. Okay. Mostly it's about electronics, but this time it is about health. So what are we going to do? We are going to install the NuGet package. Doing that, I right-click on my solution as a Manage NuGet Packages. I make sure the Include Pre-Release is checked off. I go to the Browse, and I ask for WATS, and it finds the latest version of this package. So, and then I apply it to the health check program, and I click Install. I have to accept this and the license agreement. Okay, now it's installed. So that's all you have to do. Okay, let's go back to the program. This one is now done. Now we prepare the WATS client. To do that, we need an instance of the object called TDM. TDM stands for Test Data Management. And if you click this one, you get the option to include this. And you see that the TDM turns green. We call this TDM interface. Equals a new, it needs a new instance of it. Okay. Next we do is to set it up, and that is called Setup API. It takes a data directory. We don't care about that, we just pass a null. Then you will have a reasonable default value. I'm located in Drammen, in Norway. And the purpose of this test station is now just a demo. And I want to persist this setting. Okay. That's just setting the information about the test station. Next, we have to set up or register the client with the server. So then you need the token from your email. It's this long thing here. And you need a URL for your SkyWATS account. And here the username is blank. It means use it as a token. You can also use your username and password, but you shouldn't expose those in code. Okay, so now I'm going to ask for some data just using the console. So I clip some code in here. What it does is just to ask for your height and weight. Okay, let me fix this one. It's again, you just click on the light bulb here. It's the globalization that needs to be done. Okay, so I just ask for the height, weight, and I calculate the BMI, which is a very simple formula. And now we prepare the report. The WATS report, it consists of a header, which we can create like this. It is two types of report you can send to WATS. One is the UUT, which stands for Unit Under Test. And you can also create repair reports, which is then called a UUR. But okay, here is how you do it. You use the interface and you create the report, and the parameters will typically be like this. This is the one I'm using here. It takes the operator, that's the one that performs the test, the part number, the revision, the serial number here is Ragnar Engnes, the operation type 10. I know that in every WATS system, operation type 10 means software debug. You can create your own, but in this case, software debug is fine. And sequence file name and sequence file version is the name of your test program and the version of it. Okay, then you can add lots of things to the header. Here I just do as a sample, I add my company and I add my age. And you have a comment and you have several other properties. You can see a long list here. So there's a lot of things you can set. Now let's try to add some tests. I'll clip that from another window here and paste it. Let me try to explain. First, I want to structure my tests into sequences. That's kind of subroutines or branches in your test that groups the test together. So I make a sequence called BMI measures. And I do that by using my report, get the root sequence call, and I add the subsequence here. Then I use this sequence call to add a numeric limit step, which I call weight, which is my weight in kilo. There is no limits here, so it will always pass. Same for height. And next I'm creating a numeric limit step called BMI step, which I'm going to add multiple tests. Multiple tests are named measures. Okay, so the first one is without limits. It's my BMI. Then I test for underweight, which is if your BMI is below 18.5. And then I save this test called normal test to be between 18.5 to 25, then I'm normal, no problem. If I'm between 25 to 30, I'm overweight, and after that it's kind of obesity. That's not good. But let's create a small graph just to have some fun. Just to show you how simple that is. I use the BMI step and add a chart. Chart type is a line. It's called label graph. And I call the X label for classification and Y label for BMI. Okay, and then I add two series to this. One is the limits and one is my BMI. I make it a straight line of this from 0 to 4. And now I check for the normal test, which I saved up here, if that step passed, I also passed the whole report. Okay, so the next I do is to add a few more tests. That's just to demonstrate that we can have another sequence and some other step types. Those steps used here are the most common: numeric limit, string value, and pass-fail. Okay, and then all we have to do is submit the report. I'll do that with one line, just this one that's needed. Okay, that's all. Should work. Let's try it. Okay, starting up now. Okay, my height is 1.73 actually, and unfortunately my weight is 75 blank, and that's all I need of input, and now it's submitting the report. It's done. Simple. Now I have to check the result. Go back to the browser, and I already logged into my account here. And let's find the reports. I've done this one before. Now I should have 4 reports here. And you can see this one is sent in, this is UTC time, 1557. That's just now. I can view it. And if I click here, I can expand the whole report to see everything. So here I see the header information and time, my station data, company age. I can see here the sequence, BMI measures, and weight, height, and here's the multiple numeric. And you can see I'm actually overweight by a very little margin, 25.05, and the low limit here is 25. So I have to lose some weight to get normal. And here's the graph. Here's my weight, and here's the limits. And here's the two. Here's another sequence and a few other steps. So let's just, for fun, run it one more time and say that I can lose half a kilo. So I'm still 173. Let's say I do 74.5 then. That should not be impossible. And I go back to this window, apply the filter, and you can see there's one more coming in. And this time it passed because this one was passed, and then the whole test will pass. Okay, that's all. Send us mail if you have some questions to support@virinco.com. We will be happy to help you. Bye for now.